What is your name, please?
My name is Alfredo Lezama.
What is your name, please?
My name is Alfredo Lezama.
What is your name, please?
My name is Alfredo Lezama.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Alfredo Lezama, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collyer.
Brought to you this week by Rise Instant Lather, the inventor of aerated shaving. For smoothest shaves in half the time, get Rise, America's largest selling shave cream. Now may I introduce our panel. What is your name, please?
My name is Polly Bergen.
My name is Jackie Cooper.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
And my name is Hy Gardner.
Now, these three gentlemen all claim to be Alfredo Lezama. Only one, of course, is the real Alfredo Lezama. The other two have just assumed that identity. Panel, please follow along with your copies of this affidavit as I read it. I, Alfredo Lezama, am an airline pilot. I was taught to fly by my father, who was a general in the Mexican Army. I am now flying for Guest Airways on a regular run between Miami and Mexico City. I am also a professional bullfighter and have fought in both Spain and Mexico. I have more than 300 bulls to my credit. On many occasions, I have been presented with both the ears and the tails of the animals I fought. This is the highest form of recognition a bullfighter can receive. Signed, Alfredo Lezama. All right, panel, these gentlemen all claim to be Alfredo Lezama, bullfighter, airplane pilot. Only the real Alfredo Lezama is required to answer your questions truthfully. Let's begin tonight's questioning with Hy Gardner. Hy?
Number 3, what airline executive who recently retired wrote a best-selling book on bullfighting?
If you please repeat the question, sir. I didn't hear you quite well.
Beg pardon?
Will you please repeat the question?
He didn't understand.
Oh, there's another airman who recently retired from an American airline who wrote a book on bullfighting. Do you know his name?
No, sir, I don't.
Would you know number 2?
No, I don't think I do.
Number 1, would you know?
No, sir, I do not know.
Number 1, on what street or avenue is the Miami International Airport located?
Well, it is near the track, if you know that.
Number 2, where is it located?
Near the Hialeah.
Number 3?
It's close to the 36th Street in Miami, Florida.
Polly?
Thank you.
Number 1, what's the difference between bullfighting in Portugal and in Spain?
Well, in Portugal, they do not kill the bull, and they also fight on a horse.
Number 3, it says here you have the run between Miami and Mexico City. How long is that run?
In miles of time, Polly.
In time?
In time, well, depends going or coming.
Going.
Going from where? From
Forget
Mexico
it.
to Miami?
No, really. I'm sorry. That's about how long it takes you to fly it, too. Number 2, who was, and I may pronounce it wrong, Josito? Josito?
I beg your pardon?
Number 1, could you tell me?
Joseito.
Yes.
He was a famous bullfighter.
Jackie?
Number 1, did you ever fight in the bull arena in Tijuana in Lower California?
Once, only once.
Just once?
Yes.
Could you tell me the name of the club there where all the bullfighters go after the fights on Sunday to meet the movie stars and all the people?
I was very young when I was there.
Number 2, do you know the name of that club?
I know several places in Tijuana, but Caesar Hotel.
Number 1, how much money can you make bullfighting?
Well, I once make about $5,000 American dollars fighting.
Wow.
One fight.
Then how come you still fly for the airline?
I have a lot of girl friends.
Kitty Carlisle, please.
Number one, what is the ceremony called that when the bullfighter gets dressed for the bullfight?
There is no name.
There is no name for the ceremony?
They just
Number
pray.
two, what happens to the ears and the tails that you win off the bull?
I throw to a beautiful señorita like you.
Like me? What would happen if I threw them back at you? Number three, when the audience is going, ole, ole, what's happening in the arena?
Well, you are making a good performance.
A good performance.
That's it, panel. Time to vote. Without consultation, remember, please mark your ballot. And in so doing, you will select number 1, number 2, or number 3. Remember, the team of challengers will get $250 for every incorrect vote. Okay, panel, have you all marked your ballot? All right, Polly, for whom did you vote?
Well, I voted for number 3. It was between 1 and 3. One knew who, I can't pronounce him. I've read about him so much.
Joseito.
Joseito knew he was a famous bullfighter. Number 2 didn't, so he was discarded. But number 3 had sort of a quiet, kind of a, I don't know. He's very attractive.
Uh-huh. He has some ears and tails he can toss you. Jackie, what about your vote?
Well, I voted for number 1. Because number 3 I don't think flies an airplane. And number 2 said he would throw the tail and the ears back to the crowd, which I don't think they would do.
He said he'd throw them in
a lovely
stage.
señorita.
No, I think they prize them much too much, as I know.
Too much to throw them to me?
All right, Kitty. For whom did you vote, Kitty?
I voted for number 3. I think Hy mixed me up, though. I thought he knew where the airport in Miami was, and I didn't think the other 2 did. And I want to know how much his costume costs. It's beautiful.
Hi, Gardner, your vote,
What do you
please.
mean I mixed you up? What did I do?
Well, always you mix me up with the airport and where it is, and...
I voted for number 3, too, because we've been playing this game a long time, and I think if he was lying, he wouldn't ask me to repeat the question.
All right, there you have it. We've made up our minds. We hope you have, and let's see how right or wrong we are as we discover right now which one of these gentlemen is the real airline pilot bullfighter. So, will the real Alfredo Lezama please stand up? He is. Thank you very much. Now, number 1, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
Yes, my name is Mike Segarra. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I represent Rums of Puerto Rico, and I'm here to promote the world's finest rum.
And number 2, what about you, sir?
My name is Rico, and I'm an actor and a singer, and I used formerly with Sergio Cugat.
Well, in checking up in the store, we find there were exactly uno incorrect vote at $250 for a total of exactly that from Rise. And gentlemen, on your way out, you'll find a year's supply of Rise shave cream waiting for each of you. May we thank you for being with us, and much success to you, sir, in your continued career, and to all of you, as a matter of fact. Good night and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mrs. George Enzinger.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mrs. George Enzinger.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mrs. George Enzinger.
Panel, another affidavit. Follow along, please. I, Mrs. George Enzinger, have written my autobiography, which was published last week. The title of my book is Castles in the Air, and as the author, I use the name by which I am best known to the public, Irene Castle. My husband, Vernon Castle, and I were the first and most famous of the great modern ballroom dance teams. We became the pets of international society for our interpretations of the bunny hug, the turkey trot, and our own castle walk. I inadvertently created a hairstyle which became a craze both here and in Europe, known as bobbed hair. and I originated the flowing style of gown, which became famous as the castle frock. My husband was killed during World War I, and I retired several years later. Our life together was made into a musical film starring Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers called The Story of Irene and Vernon Castle. Signed, Mrs. George Enzinger.
Game Show Network wants to hear from you. Please write to us with your comments and suggestions. Our address is Game Show Network, P.O. Box 805, Culver City, California, 902320805. Our viewer information line is open 24 hours a day. Please call us at area code 310-364-2060. We hope to hear from you soon.
All right, panel, you heard these three ladies, all claim to be Irene Castle. Let's start this cross-examination with Jackie Cooper. Jackie?
Well, I'm very pleased to meet one of you this evening. I'm very pleased to meet all three of you, but gee, Irene Castle. All right, let's start with number one. Who created the karaoke, the dance, the karaoke?
I don't know.
Number two, do you know?
No.
Number three, what year was the film of the story of Vernon and Irene Castle made?
In 1939.
Number two?
In 1939.
And number one?
1939.
Number one, how many beats to the measure of music, as we call it?
How many beats?
How many beats would there be to the measure of music?
Every piece of music?
No.
I don't really understand the question.
Oh, number two, can you...
Kitty Carlisle.
Boy.
Number one, what is the makshish?
It was a South American dance.
Number two, what is your greatest interest in life now?
Well, I would have liked it to still be dancing, but I'm afraid I don't dance very much.
Number three, who made your clothes when you were dancing?
Lady Duff Gordon, better known as Lucille.
Number three, could you tell me how you feel about animals?
Oh.
No, number one, I'm sorry.
Oh, I love animals.
Are you particularly fond of any specific kind of animal?
Well, I think I'm better known for dogs.
Hi.
Number one, didn't you once offer a reward of some kind in order to prove some point about rabid dogs?
A reward?
A reward, yes. To prove your theory?
I imagine you're speaking of something about 5 years ago, and I offered to be bitten.
Mm-hmm. And how much was that reward?
That what?
How much was the reward?
$5,000, I think.
Number two, what business is your husband in?
He's in the advertising business.
Number three, what business is your husband in?
He's in the advertising business.
Number one, did you write a letter?
Polly Bergen?
Number two, who was Florence Walton?
Florence Walton was the partner of Maurice.
I see. Number
Great
three,
dancers.
could you name some of your contemporary ballroom dancers?
Florence Walton and Maurice. Rudolph Valentino. Came a little later, perhaps.
Thank you. Number one, the famous frocks that you more or less created, what were they generally made of? The material?
Well, my dancing frocks were chiffon.
Number two,
Once again, it's time to vote, panel, without consultation. As before, will you please mark your ballots, and in so doing, vote for number one, number two, or number three. All set? All voted? Polly, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number one. I don't believe Miss Castle has changed her hairstyle too much, because number one has the closest to the original bob of any of the three women, and also her accuracy in answering the questions.
Mm-hmm. Jackie?
I voted for number one. Also, not only because of her hair, but I'm sure that she wouldn't have known about offering to have herself bitten.
Kitty?
I voted for number one primarily by the way she walked down the stairs. It had a real dancer's kind of lift to it. And also, but number three knew a great deal about Lucille and the clothes and everything. It was a choice.
And High?
Well, I voted for number 1 also. I think, like Kitty, I think she sort of did a castle walk going down the stairs, and she knew about the 5,000 reward, and I did a story about it at the time. It was quite familiar.
Well, there you have it. Now, let's see whether we're right or wrong. We have the panel all voting for the same one, which doesn't often happen. And oh, how they groan when they're wrong. So let's discover now which one of these 3 lovely ladies is the real and fabulous Irene Castle. Will the real Irene Castle please stand up? Thank you very much. Number 2, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
My name is Florence Lancia, and I'm the New York representative buyer for a shop called Josephine's in Nashville, Tennessee.
And number 3, what about you?
I'm Marguerite Haynes, a vocal coach and mother of Bob Haynes and Dick Haynes.
Oh, I love the way these mothers talk so pridefully of their progeny, don't you? Isn't it wonderful to watch your mother's face? Well, we thank you, ladies, for being with us tonight. Hope you had fun. You sure did not fool the panel, but that is a tribute to you, Miss Castle, believe me, Mrs. Hensinger. And we find that since there were no incorrect answers, there's still, no incorrect guesses, there still is $150 from Carter's Products, a box of all these wonderful products you'll find waiting for you on your way out. Thank you so much for being with us. Good night and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, panel, let's meet our 3rd group of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Stanton Tate.
What is your name, please?
My name is Stanton Tate.
What is your name, please?
My name is Stanton Tate.
One more affidavit, panel, and here it is. I, Stanton Tate, am an ordained minister of the Presbyterian Church. I am a graduate of Princeton Theological Seminary, and while a student there, I acted as assistant chaplain in a New Jersey state prison. My home is in Montana, and since 1953, I have served as a smoke jumper with the United States Forest Service. Smoke jumpers are called upon to parachute out of airplanes into inaccessible areas to fight forest fires. So far, I have made 26 such jumps. Signed, Stanton Tate. Tonight we'll receive one of our To Tell the Truth games, and if you folks would like to play the game at home during the week, I'm sure you can buy a copy of this game at any of your toy stores or local department stores. All right, these 3 gentlemen all claim to be Stanton Tate, smoke jumper, firefighting minister. We'll start this round with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Oh, thank you, Bud. Number 3, I always wondered why parachuters always yell that Indian name when they jump out. Do you know?
Just to relieve their nerves, I think.
There's no particular meaning to it or anything?
I don't know of any.
Number 2, do you know?
Yeah, I believe I do. It dated back to our own paratroopers. Some story about one of the sergeants came up with this word after a wild night. Somehow it got from
Geronimo,
there.
huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Number 1, at what altitude do you bail out?
We go out usually at 1,000 feet on a static line.
Number 2, if these are inaccessible, it says inaccessible areas, how do you get out?
Usually, well, it depends now. We walk out quite often. Of course, we have a radio, and we call in. They sometimes have a truck waiting for us, or nowadays, of course, they have helicopters that come into the nearest spot.
Number 3, what usually causes
Jackie?
fires? I got it in. What usually causes
But the answer, want me to ask you, Jackie? Number 3, what usually causes fire?
Thank you, Jackie. No good.
Carelessness, I think.
I didn't hear you.
What?
Carelessness and lightning.
Carelessness.
And lightning.
And lightning. Number one, what do you do if, when you jump, you land in a tree?
You climb down.
I knew that was coming.
No, we have a 100-foot rope that we use we cut our shroud lines loose and come down.
And you let yourself down. Number 2, how many feet per second do you fall on a parachute?
Well, you, of course, are very, depending on your wind and everything else, you're coming down about 500 feet a second.
Kitty?
Number 1, is it really a terrible shock when the parachute goes like that?
Well, yes, but there's more when it doesn't.
That's the same fellow told you he was going to climb out of the tree. I shouldn't fool around with him. Well, I'm going to ask you another question just to show you how silly I am. Why do they yell Geronimo when they jump out of the plane? You're the only one we didn't ask.
That's relieve nervous tension.
It is nervous tension. Number 2,
Why
what
can't it be
are the
early
stops between New York and Princeton on the train?
What are the stops?
Mm-hmm.
Well, your first stop is in Newark. Going to,
Newark, go ahead. Do you know number 3?
Hi. New Brunswick. Well, let's continue the trip. Where do you go from Newark on the way to Princeton? Number 2, that is.
New Brunswick and Princeton.
Number 2, where do you go from Newark?
Excuse me.
What's your
I didn't
next
hear you.
stop after Newark on your way to
Your next stop after Newark?
Yeah.
You're talking train again. I don't recall the town. It's not New Brunswick, though.
Number 3, where in New Jersey were you an assistant prison chaplain? What prison?
Prison at Trenton.
At Trenton?
What? That's it, panel. Time to vote. Once again, without consultation again. You mark your ballots and vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Okay, everybody voted? Polly, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 3 because... Do I say it?
Go ahead.
No, I can't understand why they don't go Irving. I voted for number 3 because his hair looks short enough like he maybe got near too many two fires.
Too many.
All right. Jackie 2 Cooper.
Well, I voted for number 3 also. Because I detect a little brogue there someplace, Mr. Tate. And I don't believe that parachute's going to work, but I was more satisfied with his information, that's all.
Okay, Kitty?
I voted for number 3 because we used to live nearby there, and it is New Brunswick. Now, I didn't ask number 1, but it sure is New Brunswick.
Okay, and Hi Gardner, your vote.
Well, I also voted for number 3.
Here we go again.
I thought he not only knew how to get to Princeton, but he knew how to get to the state prison in Jersey, Trenton, and how to stay there.
I don't know what you mean by that with a Presbyterian minister.
Well, he worked.
However, okay, so here we go to find out how right or wrong we are. You've made up your minds, panel, and let's see if the folks at home have too. Here in our studio audience, as we ask the real Stanton Tate, firefighting minister, to please stand up.
Oh, no!
Oh, boy. All right. Number 1, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
My name is Carlo Vittorini, and I'm an advertising sales representative for the Saturday Evening Post.
Thank you, sir. And number 2, what about you?
I'm Bill Dolan, convention manager at Zeckendorf's Corporation's Hotel Manhattan here in New York City.
Thank you. We would like to thank the United States Forest Service headquarters at Missoula, Montana, for supplying us with the smoke-jumping equipment. This is a man, I suppose you could say, works on 2 fires from above. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I find that there are 4 correct votes. Our panel has done exceptionally well tonight. No incorrect votes again, which means, of course, from Rise and Carter's products, $150 to you, gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed your visit. Good night, good luck, and most important, God bless you. There's a year's supply of Rise Instant Shave for each of you on your way out. Now, in just a moment, we'll join our panel again. Well, that's all we have time for tonight, panel, so good night to you all.
Good night.
Good night, Bud.
This is Bud Collier saying good night from Rise Instant Lather and Arid Cream Deodorant, and reminding all of you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Jackie Cooper will soon be seen in The Hasty Heart, CBS Show of the Month. Miss Bergen's Gown by Wilma.